Good morning and welcome to the currently very cold and windy Uinta Mountains of northeastern Utah. It is beautiful up here. Fall is in full swing. Let me show you around. First off, this is the campsite that we're going to be spending the night at tonight. It's about 10 in the morning. I woke up at 5. I drove a few hours to get here, and I've just found an awesome spot. We're going to be hanging out in this area for the day. And that wind is so brutal, but look at the beautiful fall foliage over here. And we're right above a little pond. This looks like a beaver pond on the creek down there. We're gonna be checking that out a little bit later. I've been to this mountain range, to the Uintas, a bunch. It's the highest mountain range in Utah, but I've never been to this particular area. I thought it would be fun to bring the cruiser, bring the motorcycle, use this as a base camp, and ride around and explore a little bit in the surrounding area. But another goal of this video is to show you some new gear and to show you gear that I use and love. And so we're gonna start off with something. Actually, let me show you the state of the car currently. This is what my car often looks like the first day of a trip. I finish packing the night before and then take a few more things into the car in the morning and then hit the road. And I haven't really had time or the desire to organize anything yet. By the end of the day, all of this will be organized and look much nicer. But for now, this is all just thrown around. But anyway, one of my favorite pieces of gear is this thing. This is what Cassie and I affectionately call the windmometer. I believe the technical term is anemometer, and we can use this to measure the wind speed because it is extremely windy right now. You turn it on, you point it in the direction of the wind, and then it has various modes. And right now I have it set to record the maximum wind speed. And right now, that is 23.1. That was the highest gust, 23.1 miles per hour. So pretty windy. And let me show you another piece of gear that I love. Let's put that away. Check out this thing. This is an altimeter. I love having this. Is it necessary? No. Can I look this up on an app on my phone? Yes. But it is just so fun. So right now, it's not wanting to focus. Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. There we go. So like I said, it is currently around 9,400 feet, and this isn't exact, and you have to calibrate it about once a day. I calibrate mine in the morning, and then you can just see at a glance your elevation throughout the day. This is magnetic. I think it came on a window mount. Like there's a suction cup, and I think this magneted onto that, but I have a magnetic phone mount instead that I have. Sorry for how dusty and dirty everything is in here. We'll work on that in the future. This is just hooked up to the vent, and then I can just do that and stick it back on there. Really cool. And to calibrate it, you turn the bezel here. And so I do check on my phone to see what the elevation is, and then I'm good to go for the rest of the day. And I think I'm gonna unload the motorcycle now. I'm not gonna ride it for another, I don't know, hour or two. Gonna wait for it to warm up a little bit before I actually ride it. But I wanted to show you something that I'm trying out, a new piece of gear that I'm trying out on this trip. So this is a motorcycle hitch carrier from Harbor Freight. It's the more heavy duty of the couple that they sell. Great rack, but I'm trying out this. This is a lowering coupler thing, an extension. And so normally this part that's attached to the rack would just go straight into the hitch receiver on the Land Cruiser. But I added this piece for two reasons. First, this is a pretty tall car. You know, it's got a lift, it's got big tires, it's pretty high, and loading this onto the rack when it's high isn't the easiest thing in the world. It's not terrible, it's doable, but I wanted to see if I liked it when it was lower. And then also, this extends it out a little bit, which is useful for when I want to open the back. And so depending on how exactly this is strapped down, I can if I move the bike around a little bit, I can still open this up. In theory, there we go. I still can open this up, which makes loading and unloading the back of the cruiser much easier. And that is not the case when I just plug it directly into the car. The end result, of course, as I work to get this off, the end result, of course, is that you lose a lot of clearance. Your approach angle on the back there gets much worse. And so my verdict is that it's not worth it. I scraped it several times coming in, and I even scraped it coming out of my driveway. We live on a little bit of a hill, and I scraped it even there. So it was worth the experiment. This was like $33 or $36 on Amazon. I'll just resell it for, you know, 15 bucks or something like that. And we'll chalk it up to experience. It might work for you in a different situation, so I wanted to show it to you guys, but for me, it's out of here. Next up, as far as camp goes, we are going to set up this little table. I really like this table, and because I am going to be spending the whole day and tonight at this campsite, I figured it might be worth, you know, actually setting up camp a little bit. This is from King Camp. Got it off of Amazon. I just think that this is a really clever design. I like how compact it is, but it's a solid table that's got an adjustable height. I'm pretty picky about my desk or table height in relation to my seat height. I like a certain ratio there, and so this one with the adjustable height legs, I can get it to be pretty close to how I want. And man, it is so windy. Is it even worth setting up a camp if I'm just gonna like spend my whole time in the car because it's so windy? I don't know, but we'll try it. Okay, there we go. Got the legs extended. So there we have our little table. I don't know if they're extended to the correct length where I want them. I've had this rock on my chair because the chair keeps getting blown over by the wind. If it were a nicer day, I could have my laptop out here. I could be working, you know, editing a video or something, but no, we're not gonna be doing that. I'm hoping as the day warms up, the wind will die down a little bit, but we'll see. Okay, that is much better. I removed the extension and lowering thing. So this was a 4-inch drop, and that was just too much. Maybe 2 inches would be okay, but I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it to do it then. This is a stabilizing piece that's meant to basically keep things from rattling, whether it's plugged into here or where this gets plugged into the hitch receiver. This goes on there like this to keep it from rattling. And then you can see they're actually bent. The threads of the end of the U-bolt there are bent where I dragged the thing. So yeah, definitely not for me. This is how I've done it before and how I will continue doing it now, just straight out there. I have the full set of ratcheting wrenches with me, and they're just handy. Like, I don't know how to do any car repair stuff. That's not what I use these wrenches for. I use it for this kind of thing, for like tightening bolts in various places and taking off a bike wheel, that sort of thing. That I can do, even though I can't do anything mechanically really on a car. Okay, it is about 12:30. I've waited out the weather for as long as I can. It's a little bit less windy than it was, but it is much warmer. That is the important part. And so we are gonna go for a motorcycle ride. I don't know how long this ride will be. I have a potential route mapped out on the phone here, but I'm not that great of a motorcycle rider, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it's too muddy or too rocky or whatever. We're gonna ride out to the main road here and then hang a right. There is a pretty good sized lake right here to the left. That's actually where I wanted to camp. That's where I was planning on camping, but I couldn't drive there with the low clearance of the motorcycle rack, and wow, I need to adjust that mirror quite a bit. There we go. I bought this bike a year and a few months ago, and the plan was to take it for lots of rides in the desert, lots of rides in the mountains, just putter around. I've done a lot of puttering in the desert. We live in the desert, in the high desert, and so I've ridden around home a ton, but I haven't taken it into the mountains very much, and that was one of the main things I wanted to do on this trip. So let's enjoy. We have another lake here. This was on the list of things I wanted to see. Man, really pretty. Got a family here enjoying some fishing. It is a beautiful day, especially here where there's no wind. I picked a very windy campsite, it would seem. I wanted to go up this little side road to get a better view of the lake. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. Wow, how cool is this? Being able to ride my motorcycle to the top of a mountain that I've never been to before. This is great. Let me show you the lay of the land here. I am camped somewhere on the side of this lake, kind of above the far side of the lake, somewhere over here. That's called a Whitney Lake or Whitney Reservoir. And then here's the little one above it that I rode past where those people were fishing. I think that's Beaver Lake. Then we have some 12 and 13,000 foot peaks over here. The Wasatch Range is the highest mountain range in Utah. And so over here we have some 12,000 foot peaks. I've climbed this one before. This is called Hayden Peak. If you've driven the Mirror Lake Scenic Byway, I think it's called, that goes kind of over here on this side of Hayden Peak. These are all 12,000 feet, but these over here, these are getting into the 13,000 foot peaks. I have climbed this one right here, that one that's just barely poking up over the ridge. That's called Mount Lavinia. I climbed that earlier this summer. I have not done any of these. These are like, oh, what are these called? Like Toquana Peak and I think Wasatch Peak is over there. I don't remember. But wow. This is looking over toward the Salt Lake area. This is the Weber River down here. This area is kind of the headwaters. This is all private land over here in the valley. And these mountains over here are private land also. One of these is called Humpy Peak. Maybe this one. It's kind of the most prominent in this area. Salt Lake is just on the other side of that ridge of mountains. And then the last one, this is arguably the most famous mountain in Utah. That is Mount Timpanogos. The mountain I'm on now is called Peak 10409. That's its unofficial name because that's its elevation, 10,409 feet. Again, we have some 11,000 foot peaks over here, 12,000 foot peaks over there, and then 13,000 foot peaks in the far distance. And then since we are going over gear in this video, this is my 2019? I don't remember. Yamaha XT250, great little motorcycle. I've got my DJI Mini 4 Pro drone and controller. And then the first person camera that's on my helmet is the DJI Action 5. And then this camera is the Sony FX30 with the 18 to 135 millimeter lens on it, I think. Oh, man. What a day. What a ride. You know, it's just so much more interesting and fun and challenging and memorable on a motorcycle than in a car. Like, it's like a completely, I mean, I was gonna say a completely different activity. It is, but like, it just feels like a different realm, you know, like driving up a mountain versus riding up it. Especially for me, someone who's still, again, kind of a novice motorcycle rider, just a blast. 10 out of 10, would highly recommend. And even if you don't have a motorcycle, this is an awesome place to just drive to. You do need some high clearance. It's pretty rocky and steep in some places, but man, what a cool spot. And so the plan now is to continue the ride, continue the loop back to camp over by the lake over there. I'm gonna backtrack to the kind of the shoulder of the mountain over here and then follow a road as it makes its way around back this way. That was so much fun. It was about a 15-mile ride in total. Took, I don't know, maybe a couple hours. I've said this before, but I think the most fun I have out of everything I do is riding that motorcycle just on little dirt roads in the middle of nowhere. It is such a blast. I've put about 2,500 miles on that motorcycle. You might remember that last year I talked about doing the Arizona BDR, or Backcountry Discovery Route, on the motorcycle. That's 1,000 miles of dirt road, of mostly dirt road driving, the length of Arizona from the Mexican border up to the Utah state line. I did do that last year and I filmed the entire thing. The reason you guys haven't seen that adventure is that I broke one of the SD cards, and it was a very important SD card that had the first person footage. It was the GoPro on my helmet. And so I lost the first, like, let's see, it took 6 days. I lost the first 4 days of that helmet footage. And so it was kind of devastating. I don't even remember how I broke it. I sent it off to this place to see if they could get the data off of there, you know, a data recovery specialist, and they couldn't. It's done for. And so at some point I am gonna make something with all of that footage. Maybe those first 4 days will just be like one video with the drone camera and like my big camera and the 360 camera, and then maybe for the last 2 days. Maybe those will be each their own videos when I have more footage, but that was incredible. And I meant to do another one this year. I meant to do the Wyoming BDR this year, but I just got busy. I didn't have time for it with all these other things. And so that's my great regret of this year. But next year I will be doing another one. I've just been sitting here on the tailgate enjoying the view. What a beautiful place. Look at the color. The colors of this, that vibrant yellow is so cool. And by the way, this is the mountain I was on top of. Just right above camp there. And again, the colors. I love it. I love being in the mountains this time of year. But I think we're gonna grab some gear. You like my makeshift tripod there, the small tripod on top of the table? I think I'm gonna grab some gear and we're gonna head down to the pond. Okay, so we're gonna be trying out a new water purification system. We're gonna be using the same filter or purifier that I've been using for years. This is the Sawyer Squeeze, not the mini. Sawyer does make an even smaller version of this thing, but this is better as far as I'm concerned because it's just much faster. There's much more flow through this. You don't have to squeeze as hard to get the water to go through this. And so usually I put this on top of a water bottle, like a smart water bottle or something similar. I screw this on top, I fill this with the dirty water, I screw this on, and then I can just squeeze this and the clean water comes out this end. That works fine, but I wanted to try something a little bit differently. And so I bought this. This is the Ceenoc Outdoors Vecto X. Quite the name. This is a 2-liter water bladder. They make a couple of these of different sizes, but also different materials. This is the more heavy duty of the two. I'll put links to all this stuff, of course, again, down below. I'm gonna put the dirty water in here, screw the filter on here, and then I can squeeze this much easier than I can this. Not only that, but I think we'll be able to make a gravity filtration system. And so I tied some cord onto this. So we're gonna fill this with dirty water, screw this on, screw on another piece. This will all make sense in a minute, I promise. And then we'll actually be able to screw this on too. So this is, if we use this as a clean water bottle, we can screw these all together. Anyway, step one, fill this with dirty water. This bag has a slide on the top. I don't know which way it goes, does it matter? Okay, so the top slides off. There's a little tether so you don't lose it. And then the top of the bag opens up wide, kind of like a Ziploc bag, you know? And so the idea, let's skim off some of this surface cruft. These must be really old beaver ponds because they're mostly silted up. These are only a few inches deep. Kind of interesting. Okay, we're gonna put the dirty water in here. There we go. Okay, so we have more than we need right there. I guess let's see, how does this work? We fold that down. This is the first time I've used this, obviously. Slide that back in place, and there we go. We have our probably like 1.5 liters, almost 2 liters of dirty water. So let's put this concoction together. The wind is trying to blow all my stuff off the table here, but we should be okay. First step, we're gonna screw this on top, or I guess out the bottom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's way easier to just squeeze this. And as you squeeze, of course, you can roll this down to make it easier to squeeze. But do you see how I'm just holding this? I'm not squeezing, just holding the top of it. And we still have water coming out. That is what we want. So this coming out of here is filtered water. To make things easier, we're going to unscrew this. So you can unscrew the little spout on the other end. And I have one of these things. So this is a coupler. This can screw onto here. Okay, there we go. So that screws on like that. And then theoretically, The bottle over here should be able to screw onto the blue coupler thing. I bought this coupler off of Amazon. Let's see. Yeah, that totally works. Okay, so now we're gonna flip this over, gonna turn it upside down, hang this from the car like so. We're just gonna wrap this around like that. Let's see. Is water coming out? Not really. Okay, maybe it's because it's at an angle. If it's just free hanging like this, does that do the job? I don't think water's coming out. Huh. I thought I had read about people doing this, making a gravity filter with this. Why is this not working better? I just cracked it open to let some air into the system. Huh. Okay, well, mixed results here. I put the original kind of squeeze spout cap thing on there. Okay, that works. Okay, like this, it's working. Like it's gravity filtering. The coupler was the problem. I think it was because it formed a seal. Like no air could get in to let the water come through the filter. I like the opening in the bag where you can fill it easily in a super shallow water source. That's harder with these bottles sometimes. Another thing I like about the bag is that when it's empty, I can just kind of crumple it up and stick it in the backpack. It takes up less space than an empty water bottle, you know? Ah, that was stressful. That was strangely stressful. Okay, I think I have a good solution here. So we have the bag with the cord, with the filter, that's this, and then I took off the white cap, the little sports cap that originally comes with that, and I screwed this on. So now it's basically just like a tube. And so let's see it in action. Yeah, this is working way better. Okay, so the bag is hanging, the tube is going into a water bottle, and there is water coming out of there. Can you guys see that? So that is gravity filtering. I guess there just wasn't, there just wasn't getting air. Like air wasn't getting in the system to let the water flow. There's the rate that it's coming out. Yeah, that works great. So this tube, I'm pretty sure this came with the filter. This is like a straw type of thing that you can use. This is a little coupler that comes with it when you buy it. And this also comes with it again. It's longer, it's like 12 inches, I think. I cut it down. I might want to get another one of these, or maybe like a clear plastic tubing or something like that, just a long piece so that I can have this attached to a tree, and then I can just snake it into my water bottle that's standing up on the ground or something. Does that make sense? But even like this, if I'm just like sitting on the ground, filtering water, it will be easier to just insert this end into the top of the open bottle than it was before, than to use the cap that came with it. So, okay, we saw some success here, finally. And I do also like that the resulting package is pretty small here, so I can just stick this in my backpack when I go hiking and not have to think too much about it. We're almost done here, but there is one more thing that I'm testing out on this trip that I wanted to show you guys, and that is this. So right now, this has a down jacket, a fleece jacket, and then this orange thing is a hat. All three of those things are inside of this right now. This is a sort of hanging storage solution, like so I used to make these. I called them cargo hammocks. I made my own versions of these. I bought this one years ago from Amazon. It was like 15 bucks or 20 bucks, pretty cheap. And that is reflected in the quality. The buckles The hardware, not good. Like if you pull too hard on the buckles, they'll just come apart. So not great, but this one has a zipper in it. It's made out of mesh. And do you see the zipper on the edge there? So I just inserted all of that stuff inside of it. On the drive here this morning, I had all of this stuff on top of it, on top of the hammock, not inside of it, and that worked too. In fact, I think that makes for a little bit better visibility from the point of view of the rear view mirror. But this isn't too bad. You can still see out with this in here. I guess I can recommend it. Just be careful with it, because again, I don't think this is gonna last. I do like that it has this zipper opening though. I think that's super cool. It's nice to be able to get bulky but lightweight stuff out of the way. Like I'm not gonna put heavy stuff in here, but for jackets or pillows or something like that, this is great. And then also at night, when you're hanging out inside your car, you can put things like a headlamp up here, just temporarily store them. If you have glasses, put your glasses up here just to keep them within reach. And by the way, this thing is too big to fit in small SUVs. Like this was too big to fit in my RAV4, and it just kind of barely works in the Land Cruiser. So if you have a big SUV or a van, then yeah, give it a shot. Man, what a beautiful spot. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful time of year to be in the mountains. I'm so glad I did this. So this trip came about because I need to go to Salt Lake to buy something. I think you'll learn about that in the next video, in one of the next videos. But then I thought, you know what, instead of just driving there and buying the thing and driving home, let me take a slight detour to go up into the mountains. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I brought the motorcycle. That was a ton of fun, and it's been fun to try out some new gear and show you guys some of the favorite stuff that I've used along the way for the last several years. But yeah, man, I love it. It's warm now, the sun is shining, the wind is dying down a little bit. I'm just gonna relax for the rest of the day, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.